Hello, ladies and germs. My name is Mr. Nerd,
I'm Kareem.
and welcome to the HMWH Parody Edition of World Crash Course History. Today we'll be discussing a tragic yet disastrous civil war.
Mr. Nerd, is it the American Civil War?
No, actually
Then it's the Korean Civil War. Well, wasn't the longest group of enemies?
Well, actually no, it's the...
Russia?
No,
Syria?
no...
Greek?
Scion, today we'll be delving into the horrors and calamities resulting from centuries of mistrust outbreaking to the racial violence known as the Bosnian War.
What's Bosnia?
David, just roll the intro. Okay, so today we'll be learning about the Bosnia Civil War, which was a 3.5-year conflict between the Bosniak Muslims, the Catholic Croats, and the Orthodox Serbs.
To everyone who's just as confused as Scion, Bosnia is a Balkan nation in southeastern Europe with an ethnically diverse Muslim and Christian population. This resulted from the Ottoman geopolitical struggle in the Balkans, and as the Ottomans retreated from the Balkans, this resulted in the communist state of Yugoslavia to be formed. When Yugoslavia dissolved in 1992, the Bosnian Civil War resulted.
The bitter civil war was an ethnic cleansing supported by Serbs and also performed by Bosniak and Croat minorities.
The war finally ended by the UN-supported Dayton Agreement, but not without taking thousands of lives and entrenching deep hate in between cultures that had coexisted for centuries.
The war crippled Bosnia and completely changed its geopolitical stance. So why does it get so little attention?
There are two main reasons. One of them being the fact that the Bosnian Civil War was a chilling reminder that racial hate has not gone anywhere in the world, including Europe. So most European leaders exit out their speeches and commemorating parades due to the fact that it X's out most of racial tension in Europe and gives an unnatural feel of hate. The second reason being the fact that it shows the inefficiency of the United Nations, because though the United Nations struggled to keep the Bosnian Civil War humane, it did not work. And eventually the Dayton Agreement was only signed after U.S. officials started putting serious weight on Serbian officials.
Because nothing is more scarier than a country renowned for its obesity.
America, folks. After asking who, what, when, where, and how, one finds himself asking the inevitable yet lacking question of why. Lacking, because there is no true answer.
But we'll try to answer it.
To the thought bubble!
So the Balkans in general have history of multicultural expression due to the serious cultural bombardment resulting from empires of opposing ideologies, most notably Islam of the Ottoman Empire and Christianity of Eastern Europe.
Though the Balkans barely have a population of 40 million people, it contains 12 different countries and 15 different cultures and 3 main religions.
During the Middle Ages, the situation was tense as Eastern Orthodox and Catholics were forced to coexist. This, of course, leading from that one day where the leaders of the Eastern churches and the leaders of the Western churches came together, and with tender, loving gazes toward each other, they slowly gave the opposing side the finger.
That's not exactly what happened, but whatever.
The situation got tenser when Turks inspired by Islam conquered subsequent territory. This forced a Muslim minority into the otherwise Christian population.
Though the Ottoman political system allowed those with skill to rise up in ranks of society, no matter their original ethnicity, due to the controversial Devshirme system, in general, the Muslim minority was better off than the Christian majority.
The resentment this caused became apparent as the Ottomans steadily retreated or pushed off from Europe. Muslim populations suddenly found themselves in a sea of people who really didn't want them there. The tables had turned.
Some immigrated, yet most refused to leave the homeland, which had been theirs for nearly 400 years.
When the Turks were finally forced off continental Europe after World War I, the Balkan states were combined into the single nation of Yugoslavia. War broke out, however, and Yugoslavia was transformed into a communist nation.
Communism, as a rule, rejects religion, so the cultural and religious differences were forcibly pushed aside by the government of Josip Broz Tito.
Josip Broz Tito, Brosif Stalin, Bro Chi Minh. Communist dictators were all bros, dude.
What? No.
Kim Jong, bro. Fidel, brostro.
That last one didn't even make sense.
Keep hating.
Anyway, after the dissolution of Yugoslavia, the cultural group started to see the main Muslim state, Bosnia, as an easy way to gain extra territory. In their eyes, the Muslims didn't even belong there.
Territorial ambitions of the other Balkan states triggered separatist movement in Bosnia by the respective minorities they represented, and finally...
And inevitably, war broke out.
Thanks, Thought Bubble.
Oh, it's time for the open letter? Alright, an open letter to the bond. Alright, let's see what's in the ridiculously budget-cutted secret compartment today. Oh, look, it's a stick of dynamite, a metaphorical comparison to the Balkan states. Dear Balkans, you guys really suck. I mean, you guys are like the most dysfunctional family group in the world. Besides the Kardashians. They're the worst. But you guys come in at a close second. I mean, you'd think after a millennium of living and coexisting together, you'd get used to each other's differences, but no, you still manage to hate each other. I mean, think about it. Byzantine Ottoman Wars, Hungarian Ottoman Wars, Austro-Hungarian Ottoman Wars, Austro-Hungarian Russian Wars, Balkan rebellions against Ottoman sovereignty, Balkan rebellions in Austro-Hungarian sovereignty, Balkan rebellions against Russian sovereignty. I mean, after all these wars that you guys were on the same side, you think you guys would get used to the idea that you exist as a collective whole? Nope. You're almost as depressing as LeBron James's receding hairline. Almost. So until we talk again, I suggest that you guys go chill a bit, you know what I'm saying? Go to Chipotle, take a hike, have psychiatrists analyze you guys, do some family bonding stuff together. I don't know, family bonding stuff. Until we meet again, keep in touch. Sincerely, Mary Yoser. The Bosnian War was not one of the brightest moments of the 20th century. In fact, it was one of its most terrible times.
Amidst all the death and destruction, one can ask him or herself, how can humanity let such events like this occur? A Serbian soldier allowing Muslims to escape, causing his fellow soldiers to shoot him.
A Bosniak Muslim hiding Serbian children from Muslim soldiers seeking revenge.
A Croatian soldier refusing to fire due to civilians being in the crossfire.
These events helped the horrors of war become more tolerable.
Although these horrors cannot be completely erased from our memories, such events as these assist in the healing of the grievances.
And until the wounds of the Balkans have been completely healed, there will never be peace in the region. Best wishes.
Ernie Pavilion.
And John Good. I mean, Nuri Ozer, that was just a slip of the tongue.
It is on Joshua Hall.
Last-
Throwing your building. Thank you.
Bye.
That's
Bye. Bye. Oh my God.
Today we observe
God.
a group of average
Get out.
high schoolers.
Get out. Bye,
Little.
Drake. Thank you. All right. So, do we have it?
No, okay.
Did you realize I'm still recording?